When it comes to hot hatchbacks in India, well, the gold standard has always been the Volkswagen Polo. And not many cars have reached that point where that car was. But then again, you had the Hyundai i20N line, and now Tata Motors is venturing into the space for the second time. They tried it first with the Tigor and the Tiago JTP, didn't work out for many reasons. But now you have the Altroz Racer, the company's second attempt at building a hot hatchback, and we are at the perfect place to test it out at the Coast track in Coimbatore. And we're going to put this car through its paces here at the track and find out if this is just about stripes and some body parts, or is it truly a performance upgrade. And now let's talk about the most important part, the powertrain update. Now first of all, the Altroz Racer gets, well, for the Altroz lineup, a new engine, because this is the 1.2 litre turbo from the Nexon. Earlier with the iTurbo you had the same engine but with a lesser output. This time around it develops 120 PS. Of course it has been calibrated in accordance to the weight and dynamics of the Altroz. So that's one. The other change is that you get this gearbox. It's a manual gearbox. This is a bit of a downer because for a performance car, I think they should have offered a DCT as well. So there's no automatic option right now for the Altroz Racer. You get it only with a 6-speed manual. And other changes include, of course, a new clutch to handle more torque and to give it a sportier shift. You also have an updated suspension. It has been tuned. You get an updated steering, and well, these are the changes. But do they work? First of all, the engine. In terms of acceleration, from a standstill, you get good acceleration because there's no electronic, there are no electronic nannies trying to hold you back. So you get a good launch. You can go spinning the wheels, and yeah, I mean, in a little over 11 seconds is what Tata Motors claims you can get from a standstill to 100 kilometers. Naren Karthikeyan though was able to do it in a little bit less, in the late 10s. So yeah, I mean, it's a quick car off the line. Even when you're driving it out on the highway, again, in-gear acceleration is pretty impressive. And it's got a pretty flat torque curve, so you don't have to push it really hard or rev really hard to get the performance out. And that means out on the streets, it's a very easy car to drive. You do not have to shift again and again. So that's a very good thing. But out on the track where we tested it today, again, it doesn't hamper performance at all. It revs cleanly. It doesn't mind being pushed, and the buildup of speed is pretty impressive. But that's about the engine part. And also, let me tell you, it's pretty refined. So when you're just out on the highway, just cruising along like I am right now, well, the NVH insulation is pretty much spot on. And for this segment, I think it's a pretty refined unit. Also, keep in mind that the exhaust has been changed. It's a new exhaust, dual tip exhaust. It is aimed at being louder, which it is. So even at a standstill, when the engine is idling, you get a deeper rumble from the exhaust compared to the standard Altroz. It's a bit louder when you're revving it also. So that adds a bit to the sporty feel. And coming to the suspension, well, the racetrack was a perfect setting to test how fast and how balanced this Altroz Racer is, and let me tell you that the suspension works like a charm. For the Racer, it's not a new suspension, the same suspension from the standard Altroz, but it has been tuned, so it's stiffer and it reacts better to sharp steering inputs. The body roll is more controlled, and as a result of that, you can now chuck this car into corners at a way higher speed than the standard Altroz, and the kind of confidence you get just a few minutes after driving this is very impressive. And out on the track, I was very happy. The best thing I liked about it was that if you go into a corner too hot and if you make a minor mistake, recovering from that error is very easy. So it's a forgiving car, and that's exactly what you want for a road going performance car. So that's a good thing. Brakes work well on the track. At least today the brakes did not heat and start losing performance. But keep in mind that on a go, the max I drove it for was about 15 minutes. So not sure if you drive it for a longer time, maybe the brakes will start overcooking. But as of today, they held. The steering, in terms of steering, again, no hardware change, just the software calibration changes that have been made to make it a bit more lively, give more feedback, feel more weighted. And yeah, it does feel more weighted around corners. You feel when you're going hard around corners, there's a less play in it. You feel that you're more in control of the car. In terms of feedback, I would say, well, Tata Motors claims it gives better feedback. I would say it marginally better, but not to a point where you would instantly realize that, whoa, it's better feedback. And while all this performance is absolutely great, there is one Achilles heel that this car has. Despite having such a great powertrain, good dynamics, where it does miss out though is the tires. The tires it has are a strange choice. I'm not sure why Tata Motors went in for these MRF Eco tires. They are not meant for sportier drive, and well, they do not really offer, I wouldn't say even a good amount of grip, let alone excellent. So yeah, if you are someone who's a driving enthusiast and you're buying this car, first thing you need to do is off the showroom, go to a tire shop, swap these tires for better grippier rubber, and then you can have some real fun with the Altroz Racer. So when you add all of these things, what do you get? Well, that's something I'll tell you in a couple of minutes. But before that, let me talk about the changes inside the cabin. Now, inside the cabin, the changes include, of course, the entire cabin has been blackened out. The dark theme adds to that sporty effect. You also get this touchscreen, which works really well. And within this touchscreen, you also get a 360-degree camera, with the option of looking at a 3-dimensional feed as well. So that really makes it very easy to navigate through tight spots and parking in and out of tight spots. So that's a very good addition. Also, the instrument cluster has been updated in terms of graphics. Looks a lot more sportier, gives you clear and nice, interesting information readouts. So all of this, along with the fact that the seat has the Racer inscription, you've got the racing stripes up here, and when you add that, you get something that looks a bit more sporty, especially these orange accents all around the cabin. All of this gives the car a bit more energetic flavor, something you do expect in a performance car. Also, in terms of functionality, one good addition is ventilated seats. So for all of you who are living in warmer parts of the country, ventilated seats is definitely going to make life a lot easier. Otherwise, in terms of dimensions, nothing has changed. So space at the back and the boot space, all of it remains the same. No change in terms of that, and that's not a bad thing. The Altroz has always been a spacious car. The Racer continues to be so. Changes on the outside. Well, it gets new colors, 3 new colors. The one that we have is the flagship or the brand color for Racer. And it gets a black hood. Even the ANC pillars are blacked out. You get racing stripes on the bonnet and on the roof. You get blacked out alloy wheels. Then you've got the Racer badging around the car. You also have a new spoiler at the back. Also the side skirts. And all of it successfully gives the Racer a sportier feel. So the car from a distance looks different from the standard Altroz, looks a bit more racier, and it does come across as a good looking sportier car. So at the end of the day, does the Altroz Racer justify the price? And talking of price, you can see the prices on the screen right now. Does it justify the price? And is it truly a hot hatchback? And the answer to that is, it most certainly is. For the price, I think Tata Motors is offering you great value for money. You're getting a good kit and equipment and nice, features over the standard Altroz, but a great upgrade in terms of performance. Not just about straight line, it's not just the engine. The car just handles better, it sounds better, it feels better, and of course, it also looks a bit sportier. So when you add all of these things together, I think the Altroz Racer is a good attempt of a homegrown hot hatchback. And yeah, I mean, having driven this car on the track and on the road, I feel proud that a homegrown company is rolling out some very good and interesting cars. If you like this video, then please hit that subscribe button, press that little bell icon so that all our videos can reach to you directly, and share it as well.